Sam was horrified when people made a misunderstanding about him of walking alone at night in hospitals to eat misbehaving children or feed the devil with his red nose that his brother forced him to. Where to scare little kids or the doctors. He's known as the famous Cavity Sam. Thinking it was safe for him to protect himself from the eyes of his friends and family, he left the city. Men and women assumed that he had left regardless. It turned out that he's actually a good funny man that loves ice cream and is a chatterbox from time to time. He had an affinity for Victor when he was a young teenager. His elder brother. These two always fought every hour. Sam was left alone after being shut out by his brother at his niece's 12th birthday party. Victor, the self-absorbed brother with the money that has made his younger brother the center of attention, causes people to mistake him for a monster on his way to eat children. But all these things have gone bad, creating bad luck. Sam's wife attended work late and never returned home. Lonely, broken heart. He sat on his bed all night in his room screaming how it was his fault that he showed his true goofy cute nature to her. Thinking that no one will like him now after the fascinating rumors. He cried and lied to himself all night, with Victor pretending to be the kind guy that convinced people that his brother is a crook when he's really the bad guy. Everything changed until Sam's brother was almost consumed by fire in a house fire. Sam's brother was taken into custody, then to prison for making his brother a fraud and burning the house down, killing both of their parents. Sam decided to go on his own, to leave the town, to go to a new sleepy town, where he met Freya and a cowgirl named Rosemary, also known as Rose. They all understood what Sam meant by his brother's dirty antics. He was already a young man and was 57 years old. He loved his brother with a belief inherent in him, but Victor never loved his brother back, wanting Sam to be used for his happiness to scare people to get money so he could prove he's the favorite sibling. Sam asked Rose if she could live with her family for a longer period of time so his brother wouldn't find him in the sleepy town of Gravity Falls. He had gone through tough and good times. He felt like he belonged with them. Sam felt happy, but deeply. He missed his brother, which caught Stanley's attention. Stanley Pines explains to Sam that he had lost his brother years ago and was trying his best to get him back, saying that he would keep his brother's secret from his niece and great-nephew as well as protect Rose. Will not keep it for too long. Until Rose breaks the chain of peace and all, saying that she had become nobody's best friend and that she didn't care about Freya or her sisters or relatives. Thanks to your mother's reluctance to brainwash. Rose's daughter, Rosford, and her younger brother, Walter, were afraid to come upstairs to hear the debate one night. It was winter and they were arguing. They were bickering about everyday's shortcomings and how he changed. She never heard of Rose again and cried till midnight. One day, 6-year-old Walter cried after waiting for his mother for such a long time. The poor guy couldn't sleep at all. He felt the pain and felt it was crushing his heart. This happened until the mystery shack was violently shaken. Stanley captures his niece and nephews, Rosford and Walter, to escape the flying debris. Sam was in pain, hating to see Rose as taboo for the family. Like she became a person no one wanted to talk about. The pain hit him hard. Ever since he was told that he falsely harassed his mother, to which he falsely called his brother a wretched bastard. He told them that it was all a lie and that his brother was using him. Sam said with tears rolling down his face. That's all Sam had to say and screamed. Your family loves you so much, why did you leave them, Rose? I know it's a misunderstanding, I left because I thought I wasn't good enough. But listen, you don't have to run away, I know you'll come back, you're a good friend, you're a mother, you don't have to control, not when it comes to friendship. Winter might not know what element that actually he is. Maybe Freya isn't as beautiful as she is. It doesn't matter, we are a family, we may have our moments but we shouldn't leave. Without you we would break. Do you want to see your kids dead? You have to come home. It's not your fault your mom is controlling you. And that's a pain in the neck. Just believe me. Just admit it. Your mom's brainwashing you, and that's not you to throw your friends under the bus. The reason why this darkness last week is because your sister and mom are tearing us apart. Just stop giving yourself away. Please. When the shack started shaking, Sam spoke in tears. Flames broke out in the shack, lit up everywhere, bullets burning in Sam's rage. They all escaped safely, but Sam was never seen running away with them, which worried them. The wind blew, fog was everywhere. Walter was hiding in a cave, crying with his head on his knees. Winter suddenly notices him and comforts him. That was Rose's friend Winter, who she was arguing with the other night. Walter begins. I never thought this could happen, sighed the boy, trying to get the first words out as Winter began. Winter, he says. It wasn't your fault, kid, he said softly, looking at the flames from afar. Winter begins. Rose wanted to protect us, but her mother's hope didn't ruin Rose, she ruined our strength. Not our friendship. Don't you notice that Rose brings happiness? When she's not here, the town's gloomy and dark, just trust me. Walter says, what? Are you sure? Winter sighs and puts a hand on Walter's shoulder and smiles softly. Yeah, you're with us too, and your mom. Rose, it doesn't matter if you're part, Rose turns us into a humble good great family. But she worries too much about getting into trouble. Sam then appears screaming trying to save Rose from her overly protective mother. Oh hey. It wasn't Rose's fault. Ah. She wants to have a friend. She will. You don't know who we are. You don't know me. I don't care what you think. You will know me. Rose tells her mother that she is ready to let her mother go. And that she dreamed her whole life to have friends. She also tells her that she prefers to have her friends with her and that they've been there for her ever since and that they are important to her. Stanley and Ford hug Rose and her mother and suddenly, something magical happens. The shack returns to its normal appearance, this time with Sam and Rose again joining the family and no longer becoming unwanted. Rose's mom now understands that her grown-up girl needs friends more than any other woman. Feeling sorry that she was going too far with her daughter, and she was just protecting her, she finally opened her eyes to see that Rose knew what she was doing and that she could find the right friend. And she did. She found Jayla, Darville, Winter, Sam, Vivi, Pebbles, Tom, Woody, Jesse, and many more, Bruno, and many more. Rose and Sam were no longer a taboo, and they were both back to be allowed back into the family, where there was singing and dancing. The end. The moral of the story is to never let your friends go. Even if you have a strong bond, you should never ignore or push your friends away. Times may be hard or bumpy, but you should never abandon your family or friends. They would never hate you, always be there for one another. That includes the real Rose and Jayla, and many more. WHO watch this. I hope those of you understand the story and the characters. The end.